You guys all know how I feel about Luke Getsy as the Chicago Bears play caller, and I think he is good as gone, which I am for, by the way. And if you are too, like this video and put why you want Luke Getsy fired in the comment section below. But the misery of Chicago's terrible play calling will likely come to a close later this week. Not only that, there is a good chance that Eberflus might be on the move as well. Yes, he has turned the defense around. Yes, he has also built a pretty good culture, but with how the game against the Green Bay Packers went, I'm not too sure. He might have really pissed off Kevin Warren and company. And I have two people in mind that I think could take over for head coach for Eberflus and offensive coordinator for Luke Getsy. And no, guys, I am not including Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh this time around, though stay tuned as things are slowly starting to heat up with the Bears in that conversation. But the two guys I'm hitting on today, both ironically won a Super Bowl together. Both are known for developing players, coaches, and culture. And the guy that I want as offensive coordinator developed guys like Brett Favre, Russell Wilson, Matthew Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, and now Tua in Miami. And the guy that I want running the show is a proven top 3 defensive mind in the NFL. This duo could finally put us over the hump. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rody, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Today, I am going to go over Dan Quinn as Chicago's next head coach and Darrell Bevell next offensive coordinator. Before I get into more on why this duo I think is perfect for this roster and this franchise, make sure you like this video if you want Chicago to get both a new head coach and offensive coordinator. Comment who you want your options to be. Yes, you can put Jim Harbaugh down there if you want. And as always, please hit that subscribe button to help my channel grow to make me a full-time content creator. So, my head coach that I would like the Chicago Bears to consider for next season is Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, currently the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator, I think would be a great head coach, especially for the defense we have in place. A proven winner as a head coach, a guy who can take over the defense right away, and would be a huge step in the right way forward. So a little about Dan Quinn. He started his NFL coaching career in 2001 with the 49ers as their defensive quality coach, which then he was promoted to defensive line coach that he did all the way up to 2004. After that, from 2005 to 2006, he was the Miami Dolphins defensive line coach. Then he went to the Jets from 2007 to 2008, same thing, defensive line coach. And then with the Seahawks from 2009 to 2010, he was the assistant head coach along with the defensive line coach, and then went back to Seattle in 2013 and 2014 to help win the Super Bowl as their defensive coordinator. After that, he got the call from the Atlanta Falcons, and from 2015 to 2020, he was their head coach. He led the Falcons to be an NFC champions and went to the Super Bowl during one of his seasons as head coach, and that's pretty darn impressive. Atlanta always had a top 10 defense while he was head coach and had some great offensive-minded coaches that he had during Atlanta's 3-year playoff stint, but it didn't work out in Atlanta, which he was picked up right away by the Dallas Cowboys. Where in last season, he won AP Assistant Coach of the Year in the NFL. Along with that, he's had a top 5 defense in back-to-back seasons. A defensive unit that has a lot of young guys that are still developing but still playing at a very high level. Dan Quinn could take them to that next level. He's a great head coach, works well with his assistant coaches, great at building culture, and works around his players' strengths. And I think that him and Poles would get along very, very well, which is huge to have as your GM to head coach relationship. But I've only talked about the defensive side of things. So what does he have to do in order to make this offense go to the level that it needs to be at? That's when you bring in Dolphins quarterbacks coach Darrell Bevell. Across his career, he has been a wide receiver coach, a quarterback coach, an offensive coordinator, and even a head coach in 27 years in the NFL. He has coached every single team in the North, by the way. The Packers from 2000 to 2005, the Vikings from 2006 to 2010, and the Lions from 2019 to 2020. Across the teams, he was offensive coordinator all at one point and even was the Lions head coach at one point. His biggest thing was when he was the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator, where he led them to the Super Bowl and made Russell Wilson the premier quarterback he was while he was with Seattle. That's where him and Dan Quinn worked together. But why I want him so bad, he develops quarterbacks. And if the Chicago Bears decide to go in a direction with quarterback in the draft, or they really do keep Justin Fields, he can unlock whoever he is given. He made Brett Favre an MVP in Green Bay and in Minnesota. He also made Russell Wilson an MVP and a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Matthew Stafford started to become the quarterback we know him to be today while he was in Detroit with Bevell, and then took the Los Angeles Rams and won a Super Bowl. And then Trevor Lawrence, he took to the next level, making Lawrence one of the respected quarterbacks in this league. And oh yeah, he is the number one passing quarterback in the league right now with Tua in Miami. This man learned from the best and has consistently through generations in different type of offensive play been a good offensive minded coach. And that is what the Chicago Bears need to bring in. Give this man a blank check to be your offensive coordinator. And oh yeah, when he's been offensive coordinator, his average ranking of the team overall was top 10. And all his quarterbacks broke 4,000 yards passing. The curse might come to an end. Again, helping unlock any quarterback that ends up coming to Chicago. We need a guy with proven success, and he's my number one option in my opinion at the moment. Both of these guys won a Super Bowl together in Seattle, and I could see them doing it again in Chicago, working to the best of their strengths, and this could be huge for the Chicago Bears. Put your thoughts in the comment section below about who you want the Chicago Bears' next head coach and offensive coordinator to be. But with that, thank you very much, and as always, for tuning in to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rohde, and as always, bear down, baby.